Hi guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is DeLady Designer, and in this video I would like to discuss things like weather, management, entertainers, blueprints, the complexity meter, and many other topics from the first Planet Coaster deep dive and gameplay footage shown this week in the Frontier Unlocks livestream. So in this video we won't be talking about swimming pools, flumes, and the new pathing tool because we discussed those topics in the previous videos I uploaded on the channel. So if you haven't seen those videos yet and would like to hear me talk about these topics, I highly recommend you to watch those videos as well. I will make sure to link them in the description of this video so you can easily find them. Now in this video I'm going to assume that you have already watched the complete live stream, so we can only focus on the things that I noticed or things that stood out to me and my opinion. And if you have not seen all the footage yet, I will also make sure to link it in the description of this video down below. Now without further ado, let's dive right in because we have a lot to talk about. Now just to clarify, in case you've missed it, I am not going too much into what has been discussed during this deep dive video because in case you wonder, we have seen a first look demonstration a few weeks ago and we have been talking about that, and I mean like a bunch of content creators, but we have been talking about all the information that we got during this demonstration already on the channel. So I'm going to assume that by now, if you have been watching plenty of Planet Coaster 2 videos, you are pretty much aware of the information that they give during this deep dive because the script was pretty much the same. It was not the exact same wording, but the information was pretty much the same and the order was pretty much the same. So yeah, other than that, like the video footage obviously is pretty new to you guys and not so much for us. There are still a few things I would like to discuss, but yeah, that is the reason why we're not going over this deep dive second by second. However, the gameplay that they showed during the live stream obviously did reveal some new things that we are going to talk about during this video, so definitely stay tuned for that. So the first thing I want to talk about are the guest services. Now this is a management part of the game, and you have shops here to sell pool passes to earn some money. You right over here have the Splash Emporium, which is selling inflatables and sun cream, and here you have an information stand which is selling umbrellas. And I will get back to the sunbathing or sun cream and sunbathing and the umbrellas in just a little bit, but the reason why I'm stopping this video is just because I wanted to show you guys. Look at the animations of the guests, how they are. Wait, let me just go back a little tiny bit. Look at her. She's like bending over. I'm pretty sure that that didn't happen in both Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. I have not seen that before, but you can see her ordering something and she's right away like leaning into. There's like how normal people would actually do that, and you see the guy doing it right over here. It's just, I don't know, it's just something into the small little details that I just noticed, and I just find it super funny that they actually added this more realistic behavior to the guests, so I do really like that. Also wanted to mention these changing rooms for just a little bit. I also already did mention it in my very first video after the first look video that the changing rooms do disappoint me a little bit, and now you can see as well, like the changing rooms are nothing more than a toilet building with a queue line for that you see with shops. It's nothing more than that. There are just a few people getting in and there are few people waiting in line here. It's not entirely balanced either because there's like a big queue line in the front and the others are not really having any queue line, so that could use some balancing. Now there's something else that is pretty interesting which I want to talk about later on, is about like how they split the section for the swimming pools and the water park, and how they have you have the rest of the theme park, and how you will not be seeing that many, or not at all as far as I can tell, people with normal clothes in a water park section. We will get to that in a bit. But first, I'm just going to follow the order from the video to make it easier for myself. So here we have sunbathing. Now, they did mention this, like a management point. You have to sell sun cream also for earning some money, and you will also be able to like see what the guests are thinking, if they're happy or not, which is, I think, not really much different than just clicking on these people, just like you can do in Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. And then right over here, you will have like their information and their opinion. I don't really think there's too much to that. Obviously, you have to sell these people sun cream in order to be sure that these guests are not burning and whatnot. I want to mention this again because I also did mention this in my first video. Like, it's a little bit hard to tell right now because I'm screen capturing on YouTube. You can see a little sun right over here, and right over here you can see a little cloud with a sun as well. I'm just going to play the game so you can see that real quick. Just pay attention to the bottom UI. You can see a little sun, and you can see the little cloud with a little sun. Now, I've been told by players that also play Planet Zoo on console that this should be some, like the right one right over here, should be some kind of weather toggle. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up again is because I have the feeling, and this could also be due to the fact that this is just an early build, so it might be changed later, but I have a feeling that Planet Coaster is more about just having this hot tropical climate, and the management part is the fact that you will need to sell sun cream. People will not be super happy if they're not able to buy sun cream, and they will get sunburned, or how you say that, get a sunburn. And there is a need to sell umbrellas once it will rain. I have the feeling that that is pretty much the only management and weather part of the game. I do hope I am wrong here, because I obviously would love to see things. Well, I think they also did mention something about shelters, or is that something that we have been talking about for super long? I'm actually not entirely sure at this point. Well, I guess shelters for people to not get burned. I'm not really sure if that is also a thing, or that it's only for people that are sunbathing at this point. I'm just curious in general how that is going to work. But to me, for now, it still feels like it's nothing more than just a hot climate where it sometimes rains, and maybe people need to take shelter when it rains. But the management part is mostly selling the sun cream, selling umbrellas, so you are able to earn some income. I hope you guys get what I mean. Like, what I find a little bit odd is the fact, for example, that there is no temperature. There is only a little sun right over here. It's a daytime. And there's a weather toggle to maybe make it cloudy, make it rainy, and make it sunny. That is the feeling that I have so far. I feel like it's not like Planet Zoo, where it's going to snow and it's colder climate, for example, and that people will not be using the water parks. I think maybe even if you look at that, the water parks would not be that successful, and maybe also if you look at money wise, this game would not be balanced well if you would have a colder climate, for example. I think that might be just too far of a stretch for Frontier to be able to work that out, especially because these swimming pools do need a warmer climate for people to enjoy, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I do feel like weather is not going to be as much of a thing as we all hope it will be. But that's what I said. I hope it will be different from what I think it is going to be. So let's talk a little bit about the water park section and the theme park section. Right over here, you can see like pretty much of an entrance building, which does feel like a custom building to me, with just like this swimming pool sign on top of it. And it's quite funny actually to see that there are people with normal clothes walking on this side, and on that side are pretty much only people in bathing suits, as far as we can tell, because it's not like we can zoom in or whatsoever. And the difference is, or I think at least what I feel like is the difference, is that there are changing rooms right here. So I keep wondering, like, how did they do that coding wise? Because it's not like with Planet Zoo that you put down a staff path or a swimming pool path and the guests would know, like, oh, this is staff path, I can't enter here, or oh, this is a swimming pool area, so I should only be wearing a bathing suit or whatnot. So my guess is that these rides or slides are obviously programmed that only people with a bathing suit are going to ride these attractions, and the other way around is obviously with these type of rides, no people with bathing suits will be riding this flat ride, for example. So I guess this automatically makes these guests just not being interested to go here, and these guests not being interested to go here unless they will visit the changing room first. So I guess that is pretty much how it will work. I'm curious if that is indeed the case, but it's interesting to see that these guests do go here, first visit the changing rooms without you having to assign an area to be a swimming pool area or this area to be a theme park area. I really do like it. So it's a little bit more zoomed in right over here, but if you just look closely, you do not see any people with normal clothes walking on this side of the theme park, which is really cool to me. You can see a lot more people here. It's a little bit darker because the sun is coming from the other side, but I do really feel like guests they have to go to the changing rooms on this side before they are going to continue their journey. I really do feel like this is definitely props to Frontier. I do hope that once we're playing, we're not like, oh, what are these people doing? Just like people being on a staff path at Planet Zoo and then complaining about seeing staff buildings, you know what I mean? So yeah, I do feel like Frontier really did tackle this. There's someone drowning here, by the way, that I didn't notice at first, and it doesn't look like there is a lifeguard here. Nothing seems to happen afterwards. I was curious if this person would be doing anything if there was not a lifeguard. Like dying or whatnot, but it doesn't look like that. And another management part of the game will obviously be to keep your water clean with water filtration. I'm going to assume this will be something similar like the water pumps and all that we have in Planet Zoo as well. You are not seeing them in this build. I'm going to guess that there's like this building on the right side, that they're probably hidden inside of these buildings or something like that. I'm not going to expect too much interesting gameplay from that, honestly. I feel like this is something like plopping it down and the rest will handle itself, and the same goes for the lifeguards that you're seeing right over here. And obviously the game will come with like mechanics and janitors to keep your park clean, the lifeguards as we just mentioned to make sure that your park is safe. I haven't heard anything about security guards, but wouldn't be surprised if those will be added as well to the game. And obviously we will also get a bunch of entertainers, which we will be seeing later on during this video as well. So moving on to the gameplay footage of the live stream, which obviously was very exciting because this was a lot of new information and a lot of new stuff to show. And one thing I wanted to mention right away is the complexity meter. I think they have some kind of Oswald blah blah thing on console, but I obviously don't play console, so I have no idea how exactly it works, but we just call it the complexity meter, aka the building limit. So it was very nice to see Frontier Developments answering a few very important questions of the community that we got after the launch of the trailer, and one of those things was the complexity meter, and a lot of us PC players at least were very worried that the complexity meter would also be accounting for all the PC players, and they luckily did confirm that that is not going to be the case. So on PC, there will not be a building limit, there will not be a complexity meter. We are just able to do whatever we want until our PCs will burn pretty much. So yeah, very happy to hear that. And yeah, people playing on the console, so PlayStation and Xbox, they will be having to deal with this complexity meter in order to make sure that your console will not fry or whatnot, so to give you the best experience possible when it comes down to Planet Coaster 2. Sharing blueprints, obviously we already did know that they are going to bring in like this Frontier workshop, so whether you're playing on PC, PlayStation or Xbox, we are all able to share these amazing blueprints with each other, which also come down with a pathing tool, which we also talk about in a different video about the pathing in general. But yeah, it's really cool to mention it again. Blueprints can be shared cross-platform via the Frontier Workshop, and they will include a pathing, which is like really game-changing if you ask me. The pathing tool in general is very game-breaking, which is why I really wanted to dedicate a complete video about the pathing tool on the channel as well, because it's mind-blowing. I had no idea what I was seeing. I was really blown away when I saw the pathing tool for the first time. It's incredible, really. Obviously, next to coaster blueprints, you will also be able to share swimming pool blueprints, and they also come including any pathing that you put around them. So it's going to be super easy to pretty much place down and use any of other people's creations in your own parks. It's super easy to place down. I'm still mind blown about this, and it's like you put it down and you put your ride to the test, and it's incredible. There will be a little dummy that will go over slides, of course, because you obviously don't have any cars or whatnot. But yeah, it all feels super handy. Everything is customizable, as you can tell. The swimming pool is, the edges, the colors of the rides, everything is super flexible. And talking about flexible, there is also scaling. They now did confirm, and we probably will see some footage later on. You will be able to pretty much scale everything apart from the grid pieces. So walls and whatnot are not scalable, but everything else will be scalable, which is a fantastic feature, which I'm super excited about. I wasn't entirely sure, because at first I thought that it was only for pieces that you would put on top of rides, like the thing you see on top of here, for example, that would be scalable or not, but it's actually not. So all pieces, I'm going to assume that these pieces on paths, so canopies and picnic benches and those kind of things, are not scalable. Walls are not scalable, but all the props and signs and whatnot are all scalable, which is fantastic, because that also means that these palm trees are scalable, which they will show later on as well, which is really good. What is also really neat to mention, and you can see that pretty clear right over here, is that the water colors can be changed as well. So in Planet Zoo, we also have like this more dirty or more murky water, and you can change the color of the water, so how vibrant it looks depending on what kind of theme you are going for, and to really make it fit your area to your personal taste, which is just a really nice feature as well, that they also added this in Planet Coaster 2. Now you can see it here. We have darker water and you have more green, lighter colors. So that's really neat. Now, something really game-changing in Planet Coaster 2 is obviously the fact that you can customize flat rides yourself, which is just freaking fantastic already, the fact that you can do this. But you can also share your completely themed flat rides with each other. So what they're showing right now is how you obviously very easily put down this flat ride on the new pathing, the plaza that was created right over here, and how different the other same flat rides with different themes look like from each other. It's mind-blowing, really. When the first time they did this, I was just freaking out, because this is just game-breaking. Like, these are the things that you really wanted to see in Planet Coaster 1, and obviously that was like their well, I wanted to say first theme park game, but that's not really true with Roller Coaster Tycoon. But it was obviously a completely new game engine, and I never thought when they announced Planet Coaster 2 that this would be a thing. Like, this is the base flat ride that you can completely theme yourself. Now, we could debate how nice the flat ride itself looks. Like, it looks like a big blob to me for some reason. And then you have like this aquatic themed one and more of a tropical themed one right next to it, and you can barely tell that these are the same rides. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me that this is possible. Like, we really had issues in Planet... Look at the water, by the way. We really had issues in Planet Coaster with how some rides were super themed, and it was really hard to implement them in a different type of area. And this just completely tackles it, and it brings so much creativity inside me. It's incredible. Like, I don't have words for it. It's really, really awesome to see that this is going to be possible in Planet Coaster. Oh man, I just really can't wait to get my hands on this feature and to just create awesome flat rides for you guys to use. Like, I really wonder like how many of the same type of rides we will have in a year after Planet Coaster 2 launched. Like, maybe you have like 50 of the same ride with just a different theme that you downloaded from the workshop because they all looked so incredible. I'm really curious how that is going to work out, but I promise you guys, I will be making blueprints of many of my creations, at least, so you can all use them for your own parks. It's so exciting. Now, something else I really wanted to mention that I actually forgot in my other videos is how these guests are behaving right over here. So they did place down this swimming pool on a big plaza, right? And there was this shop right over here. And these guests are just walking past this building, which seems to me that is just simply plopped down on the plaza as well, just like they did with like this blueprint, right? And you can see the guest flow just walking all the way around the building. Guests are walking all the way around this building. They're walking through this building. I hope I'm right, but I actually kind of feel like, and that might have to do, while I'm talking, you see guests walking through the building right over here. So that's interesting. So either there is something underneath the floor here that is blocking these guests from walking. They have to walk around the building, which they didn't place right over here. Because I first wanted to say maybe there is some kind of barrier or curb already implemented in walls But I can also see that hurting creativity, like if we would sometimes use some kind of grid pieces in a different way, that it would block people while we don't want it. You know what I mean? So I wonder what this is. This could be still curbs and barriers or something similar implemented like that. So what we're going to see right now is them obviously adding another coaster, but they're also going to add the pathing. Now, I'm not going too much into that, but I wanted to keep this in just to give you guys a quick idea of what is going to happen. There's a pathing tool with different modes, and you can see the staff path and the queue lines and the staff path around here. This is a line builder. You have an easy way of dragging your path out. You can change the width, you can change the length. Well, actually, I'm not really sure about the length because it seems to be becoming longer the further you drag out the pathing. So it's definitely a way easier tool to be creating your path. You have a draw tool, you have a stamp tool. It's freaking ridiculous. So in the video that I created, we go over this pretty neat feature, but also look back into the parks and things we can spot when it comes down to pathing. And oh man, my head just can't wrap around what we're seeing here. It's so incredibly good and so incredibly easy. I know a lot of people have been complaining about the complexity of the pathing tool of both Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. I personally never really had that many issues with it, but I can imagine that this tool is going to be heaven. And once we are used to this tool, we just never want to go back anymore. So maybe we should just need a Planet Zoo tool, if only for this new pathing tool. I still hate saying it. It still breaks my heart to even say Planet Zoo 2, guys. Know that. Please remember that. But yeah, there are customizable options here for the pathing tool. You even have a copy to existing textures, which is pretty neat to me. You really can give your own personal touch and style to the areas of your park, and a really easy way to just duplicate it to a different area. The pathing tool is such a game changer. I seriously just cannot wait to get my hands on it. And the last thing I want to tackle is the fact that this is a combination of the resort theme and the Planko theme, or just the Planko theme that feels like a resort theme. I don't know exactly how to call it, but it's not, it gives a feeling of hotels, but it's not really hotels. Now, I can remember from Planet Coaster that they added hotels in a pretty far stage of the game, but it wasn't, I can't even remember, like it was just a building to put down, but that was that pretty much. So yeah, it didn't really feel that exciting to me, and I'm actually not disappointed or happy that they didn't add it. Maybe it is a little bit weird, the fact that they did make it feel like there are hotels in the game while there are no hotels in the game. But it could definitely see Frontier maybe adding hotels in a later stage into the game, maybe, well, probably with a free update. If Frontier is going to continue how they developed their current games, means pretty much that all new gameplay will be added in a free update, and additional rides or additional slides or additional swimming pools will be, well, swimming pools, I'm not really sure if there are additional, well, maybe jacuzzis and a crazy river, maybe something like that could be added in a DLC. But if there are like game-changing elements like hotels or souvenir shops, which we have not heard anything about, then they will clearly, if Frontier will work the same as they have always been doing, be adding these kind of things in free updates to the base game, and only will have additional rides and all in a paid DLC. So I don't think we have to worry too much about that they're going to put hotels in a paywall, unless it is going to be a complete DLC about hotels. But I kind of doubt that is going to be the case. But who knows? Who would be excited about a complete pack about hotel? I can't really see what would be in there, but let me know if you would be excited for hotels in general. And here we can see how they actually customize a coaster ride with, for example, a light bulb, and there's like this really easy button to be able to just duplicate whatever you did on this side, so you can add lights. And I think there are almost 2,000 props just in the base game alone that you are able to scale and just put on the side right over here. And then there's like this really easy way of just making sure that you mirror exactly what you have from this side to the other side. You can also adjust the front right over here, and you are able to mirror it to all the cars. And I think this is the moment where they're going to show that as well. Just hold on for a second here. Symmetry type, twinning affects all trains. There you go. And now he added that light on the other side as well, which is also just a fantastic feature. You are able to move it up and down and change it in whatever you want. Like, obviously these are just lights, but imagine people actually theming this whole coaster car in, I don't know, a dragon theme or a fairy tale theme. I'm just rambling here, but there could be so many different type of themes, and it's so easy, because I'm pretty sure that this is also something you can download and upload to the Steam Workshop. So if you are not into going into these small little details of a little coaster car, you can just download it and just use it. And I think it's just fantastic. And this is how your coaster overview would look like. Again, I don't know much about coasters, so I don't know what this all says. I think I saw Spiritly saying on Twitter that they changed the original manufacturers, the names slightly, so you can still recognize the names, but it's slightly different due to copyright and whatnot. But what it is inspired of, I don't know, guys. But right over here, you can also see chain lift, launch coaster, alternate lift, suspended, wooden, wing, water, and special. So there will be more categories where your coasters can be in, but this is a selection of all the coasters and some specifications and an overview. Restrains riders in a seated position with no floor, so their legs dangle freely above the track. Chain lift can invert for adults and teens only. Give me kiddie coasters. I dare to build kiddie coasters, but the rest will be for Silverette to build for me. But that's going to be easy, because now we can easily share our parks with each other. So that's going to be amazing. So this is the part where they're going to show there are more than 2,300 pieces in here. And you can actually scale a palm tree. Not entirely sure. I actually did see someone comment being like, yeah, I'm not super happy with the scaling, because that means that from one palm tree, I only got one version of it instead of like these cute little plants and whatnot. Maybe it's actually worth it to just scroll back into the footage and just see if we can find that in the list. So if we go back here and stop, well, we can actually see that we have the same palm trees that we already had in Planet Coaster 1 and in Planet 2. It's almost like a little signature or whatnot, these palm trees. There are different variations of some palms, but it's indeed not that much of a variety, which is actually super sad. Also talking about foliage, which is pretty neat. Someone actually did notice it, but you can't really tell from this screen when they were doing the pathing. Let me just find that real quick. Here we go, scenery brush. So we have confirmed now that this game will also include a scenery brush. Something that was requested a lot for Jurassic World Evolution, from Jurassic World Evolution as well. Once people saw that, they were all screaming like, please give that to Planet Zoo as well. Well, we don't have it in Planet Zoo, but we can confirm it's in Planet Coaster 2, guys, which is really neat. I think that's going to make things a lot easier, especially for people playing on a console, to be able to decorate areas a lot faster. So I'm definitely very curious to see how this exactly will work in this game, and if you're able to just select the scenery you want the brush to use. So yeah, definitely a very interesting thing to mention. So back here at the scaling the palm tree footage, before I hit the play button again, I just wanted to quickly check. This is the scenery, these are pull items, these are props, these are VFXs and animatronics most likely, building pieces and path pieces. Now this is definitely reduced to a lot fewer folders. I'm very curious to see how many folders will appear again once we click this. I hope it's not reduced too much or whatsoever, because it's also a console game. But we know by this point that there will be 300 pieces in the game at least, when it comes down to the base game, for what we can tell so far. But there might be more pieces if it's only scenery pieces, for example. But it was the selection scenery. Yeah, scenery is now also building pieces and foliage. So I think that's pretty much tied together. More than 2,000 pieces. So yeah, definitely very excited to see what they are going to bring to us. Also when it comes down to the theming and stuff. But now we are going to look at the amazing new entertainers. There will also be some older entertainers in here. So we have Cosmic Cow, Gulpy, and Chief Beef. And then we have King Coaster. And then we have Queen Splash. And then you have Saguaro Guitario. What was it? Guitaro? It's the Prickly Pal, which is just fantastic. And we also have this really cool surf shark, which is called Bodhi Jawsome. My goodness, these guys are so fantastic, and they actually did make sure to have a little story behind them all. So you have Sandy Reef, the deep sea diving days, which is exploring the sea, capturing photos, and he has like this little buddy on his back, which he tries to photograph every now and then. He appears at the front of his what is it? Is it actually a submarine or whatnot? I don't know. It's just mind-blowing. I'm a huge fan of the entertainers of Planet Coaster 1. I do really hope that what was it? Captain Lockshaw, I can't remember the name, and Amelie are in there as well, but something makes me feel like they might be saving those entertainers either for later when they're going to add fairy tale theme or pirate theme into the game, but maybe they're going to save it for Planet Coaster 1 as exclusives or whatnot. I actually don't know. Like, I clearly do hope that we are going to see the same type of themes like we had in Planet Coaster 1 into Planet Coaster 2, because I don't really see myself, if I ever play Planet Coaster 2, to get back into Planet Coaster 1, especially when looking at the amazing new features like the customizable rides and then the new pathing tool and whatnot. So I can only hope that Frontier is planning some really great packs with these type of themes, because I do feel like a theme park game which is missing a pirate theme or a fairy tale theme or a western theme is not really a theme park game. I mean, we want to make those Disneyland recreations and all, right? So yeah, I kind of feel like Frontier is not going to let us down, but they want to obviously make a different Planet Coaster 2 base game now comparing to Planet Coaster 1. So they really want to make it feel like, okay, this is Planet Coaster 2. It's a new game. It's a new engine. Obviously, the cartoony vibe is still the same. Graphics are a lot better. Hopefully, performance is a lot better. We have water parks, which obviously is like the big selling point for now for Planet Coaster 2. So I totally get it why Planet Coaster 2 has these kind of themes in there and might not be the fairy tale and the piratey theme that we are expecting. Even though we do know that there will be a Viking theme in here, which I kind of feel like is going to add a lot of the road pieces and stuff that we creative people love to play with. So yeah, I'm definitely excited also to find out what is going to be in the Viking theme. But for now, this is what we know. This is what we know parks could look like. This is the pieces that we know we are able to use. And we just have to wait and see what Frontier has in store for us. Now, I'm going to say it again because as of right now, we still have not seen much of the management part. So apart from some features that they did mention, like the water, the cleanliness, people selling sunscreen and sunbathing, the umbrellas, and these are all more like ploppable features, if I can call it that way. So you plop it down like electricity, plop it down, and it should be good. These are not the management parts that I think will make me super excited. So yeah, I'm definitely very excited and open to hear more about the management aspect of Planet Coaster 2. But as of right now, we just don't know much about the management aspect apart from earning money in some kind of way. So yeah, I really hope that Frontier is going to surprise me with that aspect still, with some really cool it's so hot in here. And it's been a long day recording all these videos for you guys, so I'm going to ramble again. But yeah, I management wise, I'm still not entirely sure if this game is going to be the amazing theme park and water parks game that we are all hoping for. Creative wise, oh boy, am I excited to get my hands on this game. But I feel like it's going to be more of a sandbox game to me. As of right now, I'm not convinced yet of what franchise mode could offer me that really will make me enjoy franchise mode and playing a career mode or whatnot. I feel like this is going to be just a really fun box of Legos for me to let my creativity go wild. So yeah, I'm just gonna stay open and wait and see what Frontier is going to show us in the next deep dives, because obviously there's going to be more. This was just the first one and there's just so much new and exciting stuff in here. So let me know in the comments down below what makes you the most excited. Leave a like at this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already, to stay up to date with all new Planet Coaster news. I definitely have you covered, but we're also going to continue Planet Zoo because I still love that game a lot. I just only need the time, okay? But I think it's gonna take at least a month before we see another deep dive, so we can jump back into some Planet Zoo and some Planet Coaster as well. So exciting stuff ahead of us, guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you're excited for Planet Coaster 2 or not. And make sure to watch my other videos as well about the pathing tool, about the swimming pools and whatnot. So much to talk about. Thank you all so much for watching, and I really do hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys!